Hey guys, so today I'm doing a skincare routine. Not really what I want to do just because my skin is not at its best right now. I've got a lot of irritation. I've actually got a full-blown rash. I've had some spots and I've got dry skin everywhere. I haven't done anything today, so I've literally slept and I haven't washed my face yet, so I'm washing my face now. That's why it is kind of dry as well. I thought this is actually a really good time to do a skincare routine. I always do skincare routines when my skin's already good, but I think what I'll do is I'll do my regular skincare routine and I will explain what I do about the irritation. And also I wanted to talk about black soap because I tried that. I'm gonna start off with Witch Hazel cleanser. It's got tea tree and witch hazel. Because it's from Boots, which is a UK pharmacy drugstore type shop, I wanna tell you the ingredients. It says aqua, sodium lauryl, sulfate, alcohol, glycerin. Okay, it's got quite a bit of chemicals in it before it has the actual tea tree, but it works for my skin. I will put a link to it so you can access the complete list, so you can check it if you want to try it, so you can buy something similar if you're international, or see if it's good for you. First thing I do, make sure you're starting off with clean hands. My hands are so clean, they're dry, like gonna have scales on it. And I'm gonna get the cleanser. I don't wet my hands first on my face. Of course you would do this over a sink, but because I'm filming, I'm gonna just use a bowl of warm water because I don't double dip. Oh. So I almost rub it in until like it kind of soaks in. Sorry if I'm not giving eye contact. Oh my god, this is weird using a bowl. Oh, I'm making a mess. So it leaves my face very soft, and I don't find this too drying at all. I do have more or less normal skin, kind of can change, so maybe combination a little bit, but I've never actually had any issues with oil or dry skin. So, and that should be fine. I would use more water normally, but I am doing it with a bowl. And in my room, I'm just gonna get a towel. I don't dry it too much, but you wanna get rid of the water that had the, the dirt. So that's what you can kind of see. I don't know if it'll show up on camera, but I have a whole rash here. And it's kind of here as well. I believe it's contact dermatitis, which is when you do too much to your skin. It's simply irritated and it's just a bit sore. So what I do for that is I don't wear makeup for a few days. Not because the makeup will irritate it, but because when I have to wash my face to get rid of the makeup, it's a nightmare. But we'll talk more about that afterwards. I tone my face with rose water, so it's very pure. It says pure. It's from the brand called Safa's Natural. So it says it's got no parabens, no paraffin, mineral oil, silicone, no fragrance, all of that. So that's the best stuff. And then I'm gonna put quite a bit of it onto a cotton pad. Oh. Area I have a rash, I pat it over, I'm not gonna rub it. It's great because it's so gentle that I can put it on my eyes and it feels really soothing. It's nice and like kind of cold. It just feels really good, I mean, most toners do, but this one just feels really nice. And I don't know if you can see, but some muck is still coming off my face. I'm supposed to pat, but I didn't really go around it. I do my nose last. I've got a spot under my eyebrow. Okay, but this is what my skin's looking like after the rose water toner. So it's actually very soft and it feels very moisturized, even though I haven't put anything on it. Another cotton pad, and so this is tea tree oil that's already diluted with jojoba oil, so I bought it that way. And I've also added a bit of pure vitamin E oil. Again, I'm gonna discuss it further. I just wanna do it for the video. I've used tea tree for about 3 or 4 years now, and that works great for me. I've never had any issues. And even with the rash, which I believe is contact dermatitis, it doesn't irritate. If anything, it helps it. I even go with my nose, but not with too much oil because I don't want to clog up the pores. Okay? With my clean hands, I do kind of just rub it in a little bit just so it's not overly shiny. And because I don't go under my eyes, I'll kind of do like this area because sometimes I get spots there. That's the face. I feel like Vaseline is quite rubbish for your lips, but I don't have anything else close to hand. Now I've finished the actual skincare routine that I do, I'm gonna talk about black soap. It's from this brand called Cocoa. I don't want to handle it too much because I don't want to contaminate it because I do use it for my face. But it's got a lot more shea butter in it, I think, than other black soaps, which is good. So I started using this, and a couple of weeks into using it, I was using it twice a day. I know, but I was using it twice a day. My skin was looking amazing. My complexion had never been clearer. Well, it had been, but it was such a drastic difference when I started using it, and I was really happy with the product, and I am, but I think I abused it by using it twice a day. Apparently you're only supposed to use it about 3 times a week, and then here's me using it twice a day, and I don't have oily skin, so it has kind of dried out my skin in a way. Definitely will use it maybe on a once every other week or once a week basis because I absolutely love how this soap made my skin feel and how it made it look. Right now my skin's not that bad, but it's been a very rough week. That's why I haven't even been filming as much. I've got this spot here, I've got some spots building up here, I had a spot here, I had a spot on my eyebrow, I had this big spot here that turned into a scab. I've got this massive rash, which I do think was caused by the soap because it's simply too harsh. And I had a rash under my lip, which I still kind of have. I like black soap, but you definitely can't use it often. And if you have normal skin, I recommend you don't even do it once a week or 3 times a week as they recommend. I would say once every other week, see how your skin feels. I was just so obsessed with how it made my skin look. I was like, yeah, I love it. My skin feels so clean after I was doing my makeup. I wasn't getting spots after I do my makeup. I don't normally, but you know, every now and then you might do your makeup and then a pimple appears. You know, what a coincidence. But it just, yeah, it did mess up my skin, so it is something you should always be careful with. But I do recommend that brand, and I will continue to use it at a much lesser regularity. And I do think it's made my skin look very even. Okay, not from the distance because the light's kind of here. The colour looks very consistent, and in the winter I get patches, and I haven't had patches this year. Let's talk about vitamin E oil. This is really good. I got it from it's like a health store called Holland & Barrett if you're not from the UK. And it's pure, you can eat it apparently. And this is beautiful. I'm actually going to apply some to my rash because it has very good skin healing properties. And this is great for scars. I've never had a problem with acne, and when I do squeeze a spot and it gets a scar like it does on my nose or here, the scar usually comes off. The scab comes off within like 2 or 3 days. The scar kind of heals over itself within another 2 days. So my skin is very fast healing. I don't want anyone to use this tutorial or this video and think that this is a cure for acne because I've never had that issue. The only issue I've had spots with are like on my nose, and that's because when I squeeze them, the whole skin just kind of like scabs up and bruises, and then it makes a massive scab. That's why my nose looks a little bit weird right now. But this vitamin E oil is really good. It heals all sorts of things. I use it for stretch marks even. I had some ingrowns in my, you know, my bikini line, and this really stopped the scars. I've put it on burns before and it stopped it from scarring up. So this is really, really good. I think it was about £14 for this bottle, but it will last you a very long time, especially if you're just using it as a on-spot basis. I don't know if I would recommend putting it all over your face unless you've really got insensitive skin, like you know you're not going to get spots, or you're of that age, or you just have very, very good genetics. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend because it is very thick. I also use it for like my lips because it makes them very soft and moisturize. I look like an oily mess. It looks like I'm dribbling, but I'm not. I've been using the tea tree. So I've been using this for about 3-4 years. Tea tree cleanser from Boots. I'm going to link it in the bio so you can see what's on there or buy it. My mixture of tea tree oil and vitamin E. This is the vitamin E that I use. The tea tree that I use is from a hair shop or a beauty supply store. But it's mixed with jojoba. This is what the mixture looks like. It is mostly tea tree. And that black soap was from Cocoa, I believe, which is still good, even though it hurt my skin, but that was from my own negligence and abuse. So I don't think the company should be penalized for that. And I'm still going to try it because I saw how amazing it was making my skin look in the beginning, but then it went really good and then it went back down. In terms of rashes, like things like contact dermatitis, this can happen from using different makeup products. That's not the case for me. That's from doing too much. So that is pure irritation. And things that help irritation are icing your skin. You get ice cube and you rub it on there until it kind of melts. That is really good for spots and blemishes. And things like oatmeal based masks, but I don't use face masks when I have contact dermatitis because I just don't want to add anything on there unless it's a natural one that I made. But even then, I'm a bit worried. I was going to use the Indian healing clay mask with apple cider vinegar because apparently the apple cider vinegar is good for the rashes, but I'm not going to. So I don't, yeah. And I also don't use any steroid or adapalene based creams. So like, you know, acne creams with or benzoyl peroxide, not on those areas. So I have an acne cream that I'll put on the spots on my nose that the doctors gave me. It's called Differin, but I haven't been using it at all because I just don't want to use anything artificial. I'm sorry my skin isn't as good as it normally is, but if you follow me on Instagram or you see my other makeup tutorials, you know that I do have clear skin, but I just thought it would be a nice difference to do a skincare routine with my skin not as good as it normally is. I always see everyone doing it when their skin is perfect, and I think it's nice to actually talk about what you do when your skin isn't as perfect. And yes, I know that this isn't a lot of spots, and especially to some people who do suffer with acne, so I don't want to be insensitive, and I apologize if it seems like I am, but of course I have my own standards and I've never suffered with acne, so my skin is genuinely clear. So even though there's no active spots right now, these marks and, you know, that sort of pimple and all of this irritation isn't what I'm used to, and it does affect my confidence, but it shouldn't matter. And in terms of doing my makeup, it doesn't bother me with these spots unless it's like a really active one and it's like poking out yellow. You know, when you do your makeup and it just keeps on poking out, or scabs, because scabs have a lot of texture to it, so it does make it harder to cover up. But thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. If you have any questions about how I personally deal with spots, scars, or rashes, and more questions about the black soap or any products that I use or suggestions, please let me know in the comments. Please like and subscribe.